The jungle breathes like a sleeping animal as the two travelers push through the undergrowth, their boots sinking into the mossy earth. The air grows heavy, thicker with every step toward the black mouth of the cave. Somewhere above, birds cry warnings they don't understand. The wind dies when they reach the entrance, as if the world itself holds its breath. One man wipes the sweat from his brow. The other grips a camera too tight. Then a sound, low, human and wrong, echoes from deep inside. The translator freezes, eyes wide, trembling. The foreigner calls after him, but the man bolts into the trees, vanishing between vines and mist. Alone now, the traveler looks into the darkness, and the darkness seems to look back. What made his guide flee without a word? And what if the cave wasn't waiting for them, but for him? The sound of running water leads him deeper, each echo blurring into another until it's impossible to tell direction from reflection. He lifts his flashlight, and the beam slices through curtains of mist, revealing smooth walls carved with symbols that twist and stretch when he looks too long. His breathing grows louder in the narrow tunnel, but it isn't just his breath he hears. It's something breathing back. The deeper he moves, the more his mind insists that footsteps follow, perfectly matching his pace. When he spins, the light hits nothing but stone, slick and silent. Still, the air vibrates with a whisper of movement. Something unseen lingers just beyond the glow. The cave narrows until he has to crouch. His backpack scrapes the walls as he crawls through, the air colder now, metallic. The flashlight flickers again, briefly plunging him into darkness where sound thickens, like voices murmuring underwater. When the light returns, the walls have changed. The carvings are gone, replaced by long, deep grooves, as if made by fingers dragging through the stone. A low rumble shakes dust from above, and for an instant, he smells smoke, faint but real. It reminds him of something burned long ago. He whispers to himself just to hear his own voice, but even that comes back warped, older. He emerges into a chamber so vast it feels like stepping outside again. The ceiling vanishes into blackness. Stalactites hang like frozen teeth, and somewhere far above, water drips in slow, steady rhythm. His light sweeps across the cavern floor and stops. A rusted lantern, still lit, rests beside a torn backpack. Dust floats in its weak glow, as if it's been burning for years without fuel. He kneels, reaching toward it, but before his fingers touch, the flame bends toward him. The air stirs, carrying a whisper too soft to understand but too human to ignore. The flame flickers violently, then goes still. The silence that follows is absolute, so complete it presses against his ears. He glances around, and that's when he sees it. Faint footprints, wet and glistening, leading away from the lantern into a side tunnel. Not his. He aims his camera, zooms in. The prints are fresh, glimmering as though made seconds ago. He stands frozen, torn between running and following. Then, a single drop of water lands on his camera lens, but when he wipes it away, it's not water, it's blood. The drip came from above. Slowly, he lifts his light toward the ceiling. His light reveals nothing above, only dripping stone. But the blood keeps falling, steady as rain. Panic claws at his chest. He backs away, slipping on wet rock, camera swinging. The cavern shifts. It's subtle at first, but then he notices the footprints that led deeper are gone, erased. Even the lantern's flame has vanished, leaving only his own trembling beam. Every sound he makes comes back wrong. Echoes out of sync, delayed, whispering words he never spoke. The path behind him has narrowed to a jagged slit. He can't tell if he's deeper now or back where he started. Then, faintly, a human voice calls his name from somewhere ahead. He follows the voice, heart pounding. Each step feels wrong. echoing softer than the one before, as though the floor itself absorbs sound. The tunnel widens into another corridor of mirrors, wet stone polished to a shine. His light sweeps across it, and for a moment, he sees movement. A shadow that moves when he doesn't. The voice calls again. Closer now, his own name laced with pleading. It sounds like Min. He runs, his boots splashing through shallow pools. But when he stops, the water still ripples behind him. Something else was moving too. He stops to catch his breath, leaning against the cold wall. The stone hums faintly beneath his hand, alive with vibration. A flicker of blue light sweeps across the tunnel, not from his flashlight, but from somewhere unseen. His camera turns on by itself, the red record light blinking. Static fills the screen, and through the crackle, an image forms. Himself standing exactly where he is now, but behind him, a figure. His pulse stops. He spins around. Nothing there. But the camera keeps rolling, capturing something just outside his vision. The air grows colder. Breath fogs in front of his face, drifting upward. The camera light flickers, distorting the figure on screen. Long limbs, twisted posture, a face like blurred glass. It raises a hand. Then the lens cracks with a sound like ice breaking. He stumbles backward, dropping the camera. Its light rolls across the floor and stops, aimed perfectly down a narrow side passage. At the end of it, he sees the faint glow of daylight. Hope flares. He starts toward it, but the ground shifts, soft, breathing. The light at the end winks out. Silence again. Total. His flashlight flickers once, twice, then steadies, revealing carvings on the wall that weren't there before. Faces, dozens of them. Each one has its mouth open, screaming, eyes hollow and endless. His trembling light scans across them, and he freezes when one face moves. Its stone lips part, and through the hollow sound of dripping water, it whispers in perfect English, "You're not the first." His flashlight dies. In the dark, something exhales right beside his ear. The dark is absolute, so heavy it feels like stone pressing against his chest. Then faintly a light flickers ahead, his camera. It's recording on its own, casting pale blue ripples over the walls. He walks toward it, guided by its glow, but the footage it shows isn't live. It's playback. On the tiny screen, he sees himself walking the same corridor, only moments earlier. But then in the recording, something else steps into frame. A figure behind him, shrouded, moving with eerie calm. The real corridor remains empty, but his own recorded image starts to turn its head toward the camera. He drops it. The echo of his own gasp plays a second later, as if time's running behind. He runs again, desperate to find an exit, but every tunnel bleeds into another, reshaping behind him. His footprints vanish seconds after he makes them. The cave hums faintly now, a rhythm like a heartbeat echoing through the stone. Then, light, soft, golden, appears ahead. It's a chamber, circular, with old climbing gear, torn notebooks and rusted cameras scattered across the floor. Dozens of them, all pointed toward a single wall etched with names, each carved deep, some crossed out. His flashlight passes over one name near the top and freezes. It's his. His mind reels. How could his name be here? He steps closer, tracing the letters with trembling fingers. The grooves are fresh, wet with condensation, like they were carved only minutes ago. Suddenly, one of the rusted cameras on the ground clicks, as if taking a picture. Then another. Flash after flash illuminates the chamber, freezing him in bursts of white light. In one flash, he sees dozens of shapes around him, pale faces pressed into the darkness, watching silently. The next flash, nothing. He turns wildly, heart hammering, and whispers break from every corner. Stay! The chamber plunges into darkness once more, his vision still burned with white spots. Then, footsteps. not his. They're soft, deliberate, approaching from behind. He turns, flashlight trembling, revealing a woman standing only a few steps away. Pale, barefoot, her hair clings wetly to her face. She doesn't move, but her eyes gleam with sorrow, not malice. Her lips part as if to speak, yet no sound comes. He whispers, asking who she is. Slowly, she raises her hand and points toward the wall of names. When he turns back, every name is bleeding. Her voice finally breaks the silence, a whisper that isn't spoken but felt, vibrating through the walls and his bones. You shouldn't have come. The chamber trembles as fine cracks spread underfoot. She steps closer, her eyes filled with grief, and reaches toward his chest. Pain ignites. Visions flash behind his eyes. Explorers screaming, torches snuffed out, men standing at the cave's entrance crying as the earth swallows light. Then silence again. She's gone. His flashlight flickers back on, revealing the chamber now empty, and his name carved twice, one above, one below. The second reads, Ethan Cole. Gone. He backs away from the wall, breathing hard, the carvings glistening as if alive. The second inscription of his name burns faintly, red seeping from the grooves like ink. Then the floor shudders, and his flashlight dies again. A pale glow rises from the fissures below, lighting the chamber in ghostly white. Shapes move within it. Faces, arms, reaching upward. The air grows cold enough to sting his skin. When he turns toward the far end of the cavern, she's standing there again. The woman from before. This time, she speaks aloud. Her voice sounds like many overlapping tones, soft but commanding. You walked the path of memory. Now, memory walks you. He stumbles back as her glow brightens, casting ripples of light that move across the walls like water. For the first time, he notices the carvings aren't just names, they're dates. Every entry ends the same way. A word scratched hastily beneath it. Lost. The whisperer moves closer, her bare feet leaving no prints on the wet stone. He asks her what this place is, but her eyes only shimmer, reflecting not his face, but someone else. Ming, the translator's terrified eyes stare back at him from within her gaze. And suddenly he understands. She doesn't trap strangers. She carries their memories. A low rumble builds beneath his feet, like thunder underground. The walls begin to breathe again. Slow, rhythmic, alive. She raises a hand, pointing toward a tunnel behind her and whispers, He left you here. His breath catches. She means Min. He remembers the way the translator fled, the panic in his eyes. The whisperer continues, her voice now softer. His blood remembers this place. It called you. He doesn't understand, but the truth twists his gut. He isn't the first foreigner to enter with a local guide. Mina's grandfather vanished here 70 years ago, and she remembers them all. He moves toward the tunnel she points to, unable to resist. Every step echoes in two layers, the present and a faint aftersound that trails seconds behind. The light within grows warmer, orange now, like firelight. He enters a new chamber where the air feels thick with age. Dozens of burned torches line the walls, melted into shapes that resemble hands. In the center lies a stone altar, draped with tattered cloth and bones. The whisperer follows, her voice breaking. They came seeking truth, but truth is what buried them. A sudden gust extinguishes her light, leaving only his flashlight beam, and a skeletal hand reaching from the altar toward him. He kneels beside the altar, noticing fragments of old equipment scattered around. An engraved compass, rusted watches, a cracked camera lens. In the faint reflection of the lens, he sees not himself, but a dozen faces staring back. The lost explorers frozen mid-scream. The Whisperer's voice drifts behind him, almost kind. The cave remembers. It keeps what the world forgets. He realizes now that every image, every echo, is a recording. Not by man, but by the cave itself. The walls, the water, the stone. They all remember. As he looks up, the Whisperer's form begins to dissolve into mist, her final words fading with her. Memory never dies. It only waits. The silence after she fades is unbearable. So heavy, it feels like the cave itself is holding its breath. Ethan reaches for the relics, hoping to anchor himself in something real. His fingers brush the cracked compass, and it spins wildly, pointing nowhere. Then, without warning, his camera beeps. The red light turns on again. It's recording, though he never touched it. On the screen, he sees himself kneeling by the altar, exactly as he is now. But behind him, movement begins. The Whisperer returns, though she's not there in front of him. In the footage, she leans down, whispering something into his ear. His recorded self turns slowly toward the camera. He doesn't remember doing that. He backs away, terrified. The screen now shows moments ahead of him, his recorded self standing, looking into the tunnel. Seconds later, he does the same, unable to resist. Every action he takes happens just after it appears on screen, like he's trapped inside someone else recording. The deeper he looks into the camera, the more the footage changes. Behind him, faces appear in the shadows. Dozens, maybe hundreds, all staring at the same spot where he stands. He shuts the camera, but the red light keeps flashing. Even with the power off, it records. He runs blindly now, clutching the camera as if it's alive. Every corridor looks the same. Wet walls, flickering pools of light. But when he passes one bend, the air shifts, and a faint humming fills the space. A familiar sound. He looks down. His own backpack lies there, covered in dust. The same camera strap, same scuffs, same broken clasp. Confused, he sets down his gear beside it. The two are identical. Then he realizes there's another camera attached to the old one, still recording. He watches its footage. It shows him entering the cave from earlier that day. Min is still there, staring at the entrance, terrified. The footage trembles, as if aware of him. The sound of his own voice plays, his past self asking Min, "You sure this is the right place?" Min's answer echoes from the recording and from somewhere deep in the tunnels at the same time. The synchronization shatters his sense of reality. Suddenly, the ground splits open, revealing a chasm of pure darkness below. The two cameras fall, vanishing into the pit, their red lights spiraling like dying stars. He screams into the void, his voice bouncing back seconds too late, repeating endlessly, each echo weaker, older, more tired. When the echoes fade, he realizes he's no longer in darkness. A faint, golden glow surrounds him. He turns and finds himself back at the entrance of the cave. The same moss, the same mist. Sunlight filters through the canopy. For a moment, he believes he's free. Then, movement catches his eye. A man stepping toward the cave, camera in hand, translator by his side. His heart stops. It's him, entering again. Min turns, looks straight at him though he shouldn't see him, and whispers, "Run!" The cave exhales, pulling the mist inward, and everything resets. The air is still again, but something inside him has changed. The world outside feels thin, like a surface he could fall through if he breathes too hard. He stumbles into the forest, blinking against sunlight that feels unreal. The birds sound mechanical, repeating the same short melody over and over. He reaches for his camera. It's still recording, though the memory card shows 0 seconds elapsed. When he checks the screen, he doesn't see trees or daylight. He sees the cave. The same tunnel. And in it, Min. Not running this time, but standing, motionless, facing the darkness as if waiting for him. The forest bends, and he hears dripping water again. His instincts scream to run, but curiosity pulls him back. The camera trembles in his hands, replaying sound from deep below. Whispers layered with his own breathing. The voice of the whisperer echoes faintly through the speaker, mingling with Min's voice, both overlapping, both calling his name. He steps toward the entrance again, and the world behind him ripples like water disturbed. The jungle sounds fade into low static. Then, as he crosses the threshold, gravity shifts. The sunlight vanishes, replaced by a cold, familiar blue. He's back inside, but the cave looks different now. It's cleaner, untouched, like it's waiting for its first visitor. He ventures deeper, guided by instinct more than memory. The paths are smoother now, like no one's ever disturbed them. Then he sees movement ahead, soft flickers of flame light. Voices echo faintly. He rounds the corner and freezes. A group of men stands there, explorers dressed in gear from another century. Their lanterns burn steady, their faces young and focused. One of them looks just like Min, not the Min he knows, but younger, wearing an old field uniform. Ethan realizes with a chill that he's seeing the past, the first expedition. The men speak a language he doesn't know, yet he understands every word. They're talking about a curse, about a foreigner who never came back. The vision wavers, but the voices grow sharper. One of the men argues, slamming his lantern onto the ground. Ethan watches as the group turns on their leader, the one who looks most like him. They accuse him of bringing the curse, of awakening the memory beneath stone. Suddenly, the air ripples, and the cave roars. The torches flare blue, then die. Screams echo as the ground splits open. Ethan feels the tremor beneath his own feet, though he stands decades apart. Then the chamber fills with dust and silence. When it clears, the men are gone, but their shadows remain, burned into the walls. He steps closer, realizing the leader's outline is his own. He falls to his knees, shaking. The cave's hum returns, steady, pulsing, almost like a heartbeat syncing with his own. He looks around and realizes he's surrounded by remnants of every era. Helmets, torches, cameras, notebooks, all scattered together, layered through time. The cave isn't haunted by ghosts. It's haunted by memory itself. Every explorer who entered became part of it, their memories feeding the stone. The whisperer's voice rises softly again. He left to save you. You came to finish him. Ethan whispers Min's name. For the first time, he understands. The translator's fear wasn't superstition. It was inheritance. The humming deepens until it becomes a pulse inside his head. The walls shimmer like heat on asphalt. Ethan stumbles forward, clutching his camera, though the screen now shows nothing but static. Then, footsteps, soft, deliberate. Min appears from the dark tunnel ahead, but his face is wrong. Older, weathered, eyes hollow. Ethan calls his name, voice breaking, but Min doesn't answer. He only lifts a trembling hand and points upward. Ethan follows the gesture to see a shaft of light, a way out. Hope flares. He rushes toward it, but Min's voice finally cuts through the noise, barely a whisper. If you leave, it remembers you. Ethan climbs, hands scraping against stone, the cave trembling beneath him as if trying to pull him back. The closer he gets to the light, the more the air fractures. Sound distorts, and his heartbeat echoes like someone else's footsteps following. At the final ledge, he looks down. Min is gone. The chamber below collapses inward, the relics and shadows imploding silently. He hauls himself upward, body trembling with exhaustion, and bursts into sunlight. The jungle air hits him like a wave. He gasps, blinking, eyes adjusting to the world that feels new and impossibly old. He lies in the grass, panting, staring at the moving clouds overhead. For a long moment, there's only the sound of wind and bird song. Then he notices it, the ground beneath him faintly vibrating, in perfect rhythm with his heartbeat. He sits up, fumbling for his camera, desperate to capture proof. But the device is cracked beyond repair. When he checks the lens, it reflects not his own face, but the cave, wide open, waiting. He hurls it into the undergrowth and watches as the red record light blinks once, then dies. The vibration in the soil fades, for now. Days later, he walks through a small village at the mountain's base. His clothes tattered, face unshaven. Locals stop and stare, whispering his name. A television flickers inside a roadside shop. He pauses. On the screen, his face fills the frame. It's the footage from the cave, perfectly edited, uploaded under his channel's name. The timestamp reads 3 days before he entered. His voice narrates in calm tones about a place that remembers. The villagers back away, murmuring prayers. Ethan steps closer to the screen, trembling. His reflection overlaps with his recorded face, and both blink at the same time. Night falls. Ethan camps alone near the river, unable to sleep. The jungle hums softly, as though whispering through the leaves. He stares into the black water, watching the reflection of the moon ripple across its surface. Then beneath the water movement, faint shapes shifting. Familiar faces drifting past. The whisperer's voice returns, quiet as a breath. The cave. It keeps what you leave behind. He looks at his trembling hands, the faint glow beneath his skin pulsing like veins of light. The reflection in the river isn't him anymore. It's the cave, breathing, waiting, waiting.